Right, good evening, folks. Welcome back to VP4TV. Welcome to Bill. We're here tonight for, well, I've got one match scheduled. That was the one that was in the schedule, which is the match between Poolkabouter, who is representing the Netherlands, and Larry from the States. This is a one-loss side match. But in the meantime, at some point during the day, Stubb has got his match arranged with Potman, or Thunder Bluster, but I'm calling him Potman. And that match goes ahead in just over an hour and 4 minutes' time. So the plan is that we are sticking with the original match in the schedule, which is Larry and Poolkabouter. And as and when that match is done, I will go and cover the rest of the Stubb Potman match. However, if Slim is in the vicinity and he shows up, he can do it, because Larry and Poolkabouter may or may not be done in the hour, even though it is a race to 15. You just don't know how things will go, but that's the plan. If the match is done and we miss a few racks of the Stubb match, then fair enough, we'll move to it anyway at that point. I need to have a quick look at that schedule just as a reminder. So we've got the two matches coming up tonight. We have the Acero Spectre Dawn match, which many people might not be around for that, because in the UK, most people will be out working at that time, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, British summer time. And for those in the States, it's very early morning, like 5, 6 a.m. For that match. My throat's beginning to go already. I need to have a drink in a minute. So Acero and Spectre Dawn will be going at it tomorrow afternoon, and I will be there for that. And then you've got One Pocket Slim and Cold as Pillow on Sunday, this Sunday coming. Or is it this Sunday, or is it a weekend Sunday? It could be a weekend Sunday, that is, I think. And that's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But regardless of that, I won't be there for that, because I finish work at 12:30 on the Sunday, and then it's half an hour to get home. And I ain't rushing when I get home. I'm going to go home and get coffee and something to eat and whatever. So that match may or may not. Well, Slim will be doing it anyway, so I'll catch some of it, but not all of it when I get home. So those are the matches. There could be others appear, but they'll begin to thin out now as we go deeper into the tournament. So that's where we've got to. The good news also, Poolkabouter has arrived. Larry's been in for a good hour or so, getting a bit of practice here or there. No message from Steve as to whether or not he is intended to appear tonight. I've got Discord open, but that I will close down soon after the match starts. Poolkabouter, I don't see a lot, I must admit. I've probably streamed one of his matches at some point in the past, but I can't remember. So we'll get an idea of what sort of level he's at. I would still suggest Larry's probably the favourite, but once again, you never know. It just depends what sort of pool brain that Poolkabouter's working with. We'll soon find that out as well. Welcome to Spud Boy. I'm just going to have a quick drink, guys. Just a sec. That's better. That's better. Well, it's better for the time being. So we're what? Right at the top of the hour. The room should be going up. But the room will be up. I'm just going to do one quick tab. And No sign of Steve, so I'm going to shut that down. Right, so we'll get in the room. We're probably going to miss the lag. Oh, and in fact, we're just in time. Poolkabouter on the right-hand side. Well, he's a 2,000 rated player. And he may well have won the lag. I think he's nailed it. That's perfect. So that's a good start. Spud Boy predicts 15.5. Well, I'll give it 2 or 3 racks to decide that. You know, what it might be or what sort of score it could be. Well, the one definitely goes. And you got to get up and down the table again for this 3-ball. He hasn't hit it. He hasn't hit it at all. Now, immediately, is that the 4? Is that the 2 or the 4 that's up there? No, it is the 4. So immediately in that shot, he's totally forgotten about getting in the 3 and hasn't hit it. You've got to hit it a lot harder than that. And that attempt at a safety wasn't that good either, I'm afraid. Trying to maybe tuck in behind the 6. And the only saving grace there is that he has nudged the 6 and killed the 5-ball as far as the pot goes. Now, Larry can certainly get up the table and maybe play the billiard. It's a bit tight, but that's probably as good as he's going to get. No, he's trying to break them. And he's got no joy. I thought he might have been better just taking his medicine and just getting up the table and looking for the little slide off the 5 and nudge that 6 in. Well, I think Poolkabouter's got to have a go at this. I mean, it's not easy, but it's a mistake from Larry, whatever way you look at it. Yeah, bad mistake from Larry. And Poolkabouter's got trouble here as well because he's on the rail pretty much. He's got to run this cue ball. He might end up at the top end of this 8-ball here unless he comes round past it. He's hit it. Well, it could have ended up worse. So one good pot here. Yep, so the first real mistake from Larry with his attempted safety. And first blood to Poolkabouter. Well, Larry wants to get them out of his system fairly rapidly here. And the 2-ball was certainly 1-ball that went into the side. I think there's a gap right through there for the 1. Problem is getting to the 3. If you hit this hard enough, you might stun and miss the 8, but he's actually trying to duck. But of course, he's forgetting about getting a ball to a rail. So again, a poor shot there from Poolkabouter. You know, so clearly I can see where there's a problem. The problem is he's not dialed in with his mouse, so he can't judge the pace. He's made 2 sort of big glaring mistakes when he played that 3-ball to get him down, and then he's trying to roll the ball and nail the cue ball to the 8 and fell well short of that. Well, Larry's going to be in trouble. Yeah, he can't pot that. Can't see enough of it. And this is how strange things can happen in matches. I mean, already you would have Larry as the favourite from the evidence of the quality of the shots that Poolkabouter's trying to play. And Larry's played another poor one and given Poolkabouter a chance. Oh, well, he didn't want that. Well, now he's got to get the feather edge of the left side of this 5. That's a shot, and try and use the line of the 7 and 8 ball. But he's trying to bank this, and I don't think the bank's on. Or is he? No. Well, he might use the 6, though. That'll work. Well, this is a shot that requires bravery. He's trying to draw and go to the rail above the pocket here and come back for the 6. Well, he's actually pretty damn good on that 6 ball. Now, this is where the angle is perfect just to come up to that side pocket. You know, he's left that well short. He should have been a bit braver than that and got it to there. He's left it a bit tougher. But if he just drops that 7 in, he's on the 8 into the side. You just got to watch the 9. See, there's a difference. I mean, Poolkabouter, I would think, well, that's, again, a terrible shot there. Staring an 8 ball in the pocket. Why he had to bang it like that, I don't know. He could have just dropped it in. I was just about to say, I mean, when you start doing stupid stuff like that, then, you know, Larry's not going to be breaking any sweat here. Larry knows that sooner or later he's going to get himself on top in this match. From what he's seen from Poolkabouter, there's not a lot from Poolkabouter to scare Larry here. I mean, you see him doing stupid, daft stuff like that, you know, that's not going to help his cause. That was a terrible shot in the 8 ball. I mean, just plain. So that's what I talk about every time. Why don't players think about what they're doing? Now, clearly, Poolkabouter was thinking in some obscure way. Any common sense person rolls that ball into the middle, and you're on the 9 anyway. Even if you're a wee bit further away from it, you don't have to stun it and bang it and try and be some sort of hero. You've got to play the common sense game. You're not helping your cause doing stupid stuff. And, you know, that's just, it should be 2-0 right now, no doubt about that. 100% it should be 2-0. Well, Larry came up dry. Now he's got to try and make amends here, Poolkabouter, because I don't want to be ripping into him all night. And that's a good shot. Watch the cue ball, though. Well, this is neither here nor there, is it? It's a dodgy cut, whatever way you look at it. I mean, you could try a daft combo into the side, but it's no doubt the cut up into the corner. And he's nailed it. You know, he's pulled out a pot like that. Now, this is where you've got to, I think, go forward. I don't know whether you're going to miss the 5 or run into it, but you've got to go forward off that rail. Yeah, he's got the touch for that shot. And he's got an angle. Now, this one, you can stun up the table hard. If you start running, you might end up on the short side, and you could have a shot in the 6 into the corner. This is too hard, though. But is he going to go thin cut and run it, or is he going to try and bank it onto the 9? I think the thin cut's on, but he's got to watch the cue ball. Got to watch this 8 ball. Needs to bump it. Well, he's got a bedhead cut. The cue ball, well, is he trying to bank it back the way up to the top right? No. Good evening to Coldest Pillow. Now there's another good pot. Maybe he's warming up and settling down. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt yet, because he's done a stupid shot and then suddenly he's potting balls. And then he's done that. I don't know whether he's trying too eager to impress here, but it ain't working. He's making basic mistakes here that have cost him 2 racks. He should now be 3-0 in front. It's probably the most common fault with a lot of players is their brain isn't quite ticking in, and they're not able to see the wood from the trees. I mean, harping on about that 8 ball into the side. What went through his mind to think they had to bang that as hard? And Larry's came up dry again. Now, did he call a push out there? Aye, he did. Now, that 2 ball, we need to have a quick look at that, because I think the 2 goes. Yes, it does go. So, again, just a reminder to any latecomers, this was the match that I had scheduled for tonight. And in an hour's time, or rather, say 47 minutes' time, Stubb, Real Poland Power, is all set to play Potman or Thunderbluster, but I'm calling him Potman because that's his name. And that is a round 2 match, I believe. I think they both got a bye, did they? Or something like that. Well, again, the mistake from Poolkabouter's giving Larry ball in hand, but not a lot to be had from it. Now, how many fouls has gone down here? Is that just the one? Well, that's not what I'm wondering. I'm wondering whether Potman's going to have his thinking head on. Because what you don't want to do is feed the beast. A lot of players end up doing that with Stubb. Whereas you should be using your head and giving him problems to deal with. A lot of players try to outpot Stubb when they don't know their limitations, and you need to get worldly wise to beat him. Yeah, it's on the winner's side. I think if you look at the bracket, I think it's. I think both the players. Well, certainly one of the players got a bye. I'm not 100% certain. In fact, I'm annoyed now. I'll go and look. It's the only way I can satisfy my curiosity. No, Stubb won his first round match, remember, against Wanwa. Wanwa was a complete disaster. That was a terrible performance from him. In fact, Potman got a bye. Lochstar forfeited. They actually had arranged their match. Now I remember it. They had arranged their match for during the day while I was at work. And Potman turned up, but Lochstar didn't. And that's how he got a bye. Yeah, I remember the Slim streamed that match. One was absolutely horrible. I mean, I've never seen anybody play as bad in VP4 except a brand new player who's never hit a ball. I mean, that's how bad Wanwa was. He completely folded. He folded like a pack of cards, so he did. And meanwhile, Larry's got the 2-1 lead. Now, I mean, it's a dodgy cut to try and drop that into the side pocket, but the thing is, the cue ball's heading in the right direction for that 3. He could try the combo on the 7 ball, but again, if he does that, the cue ball's going that direction. At best, he would have a bedhead cut in the 3, but he's played it into the side. That's an excellent shot. Where's the cue ball, though? Oh, I think he's done for. Is he? No, he's fine. That was a good shot from Larry. It was tight into that side pocket. And he's trying to, well, he missed that 6. I think he might have been still hooked behind the 9 there. He had the right idea, but I think the pace of the cue ball, I think he could have ended up hooked behind the 9 anyway. Played the attempted bank, and he might believe in Poolkabouter a chance here. And this is the other thing. I mean, these sort of unfancied players, you know, Poolkabouter included, they'll get opportunities, but they struggle to find their way out, and that's why they lose matches over and above anything else daft that they do, is the fact that they will get opportunities. This is tough, though. I mean, to go from the 5 to the 6, he's got to work it. He's played the stun, and he's played that very well also. I don't know whether it's a case of, you know, keeping your mind on the job all the way through the match, or, you know, certain things they don't see. I don't understand it. And that's another good one. A little help from the 9 ball there. So all okay so far. He's only got 3 balls to pot. Now you've got to make a decision where you're going with this 8 ball. And okay, he's the wrong side of the 8, but this should be fine. Again, all you do is drop it into the side. You don't need to try and do any heroics with the cue ball. You just roll it into the side and play a long 9 ball. Where's the problem in that? Why didn't you do that in that other 8 ball then? What do you mean? What do you mean I make people nervous? Well, anyway, it's 2 apiece here. Poolkabouter's dropped to 4 ball into the side. Bedhead cutting the 1 if he fancies it. Well, again, I'm not sure what his thinking was there. I'm not sure what he was thinking, but either way, he's left a chance for Larry. I mean, there was no way that ball was banking. People play different when you watch. I don't agree with that. Well, you certainly do, Spud Boy. You decide not to pot anything when I'm watching. You walked into that one, by the way. You shouldn't have even opened your mouth. Well, Larry regains the lead. A couple of balls went in top right. 9 ball was one of them. He's got a shot in the 1 into the side. He may have to dig in and drag this. Yeah, he's trying to. Well, I thought he would have tried to drag a bit more, but maybe the angle was far too much. And he's probably going to bank this and duck, I think. I think he can bank it down towards the 3, but he should have covered behind the 9 and the 7. No, he's going side to side. That's a standard snooker safety nowadays. The side to side shot, and that worked very well. Well, this side pocket might be in the way of that line. I've now got the hiccups again. Commentator's eye. The commentator's eye. Never ever doubt it. I've told you 100 times the side pocket's in the way going in that line. Bang. There you go. I rest my case, folks. You know, that's why what I mean. You've got to see the shot. When you're looking at that line, even if you got lucky, the chances are you're going to catch the point and not get to the ball anyway. Course am. Well, 7 at the top right-hand corner. That's a given. Now, this is just a little roll through, go to the rail. I mean, you can nick it a wee bit, but you don't have to do anything elaborate. Again, the 9 ball's wide open, so this is making a choice as to what line you're going to take to get the 9 ball. It should be up there and down there, and Larry's, again, making unforced errors. And that's the thing I kept saying. It's this thing that's creeping into Larry's game all too often, I'm afraid. He should never be missing that. I don't know what he was trying to do with the cue ball other than just do what he should have done. And he's ended up gifting Poolkabouter. I think that could run very close. I think if Slim gets, goes by the evidence he saw in Cold as Pillow's last match, then he should give Cold as Pillow a few things to think about and see how he copes with it. Meanwhile, Poolkabouter has the angle on the 3 to run up the right side to play this 4 into the bottom left. If he just lets the cue ball do its thing and doesn't try and do something fancy, just like that. Now, I mean, there's the shot he's played there to get him nailed right on the 4 now. If he just bumps the 8, he can cut the 5 into the side and come down this right side for the 6. In fact, he caught a lot less the 8 ball than I thought he would. And now he's got a troublesome shot. Well, he's going to go past the side pocket. And he's putting a bit of right English on it. Now, that's helping it to come off the rail and go to the short rail and cut it across. That's an excellent shot. Excellent. Now, this is the problem that a lot of players have, is judging the draw and controlling the cue ball. And he's played that very well, because he's played that more as a stun draw by hitting it harder. And that's how you get the stun draw to work. You don't need to go as deep in the cue ball, but you hit it harder, and it's a more controlled draw shot. He played that perfect. I mean, there are signs that Poolkabouter's got a reasonable idea what he's doing, but it's just the problem's the execution, I think, and 1 or 2 of the shots and the odd stupid shot. But he's 4-3 in front here. And Larry's not helping his own case by these unforced errors that's just creeping in and jumping out to bite him every now and again. Well, I wouldn't be sweating at this time. But Larry's got to, try and, like we said a minute ago, he's going to have to try and... See, Larry's... I've always said this about Larry. It's a complete 9-ball mindset that Larry's got in most games that he plays. That, you know, he's out to pot everything he can get close to. He's out to pot it, but I think you've got to sometimes try something of the strategy side to try and trouble your opponent and frustrate them. Maybe we'll see how that manifests itself, if it does, as this match goes on here, especially if things don't go Larry's way. So here he's been given a chance to redeem himself. He's got to watch this 2-ball. It's going to go at the short rail if he's not careful. He's having to cut it. And he's controlled the cue ball. Everything's good. So the big test is running up to that 6-ball in the short rail up top. Now, how tight is that? It's not on the rail. I think he's left himself. Yeah, he's left it. He's going to dig deep and try and nick this down the rail. And he's short. And this has to be flushed. Got to get that edge. And he's good. Cue ball's running at a nice pace. He can tweak this with a wee bit of English just to check it in the rail. So, all square. Larry will start to sweat if this is, 10 each, something like that. But I still expect Larry to pull away if he minds his business and does things right. Well, does things more often right than wrong. But what will help his case is if he can get the brake working and start running a couple of racks here or there. That might well be all it needs to just open that gap and keep Poolkabouter at arm's length. Now, I think this might be Larry's first breaking run. Could be wrong. I'm not counting them, but I think it is. And if he, even at this stage, if he can put in 2 or 3 of these, then that just gives him that little bit of comfort zone. But he's got a ball. He's got a testy 1-ball, and he's got to try and get out of there and avoid the 9-ball to try and get up. I mean, the 3 might go into the side. I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Yes, it does. I mean, he could roll this in. He's trying to stun it and hold it. And now he's in no man's land. He needed to get into that cue ball a lot more, I think. So now what does he do? We know that 3 does cut past the 4. And it's gone in off the jaw. That was well done. Where's the cue ball finishing? I think he's going to be okay. Well, it's all good the way this is lying. He just needs to drop down for the 5, roll that 6 ball in. He's up on top of the 7, 8 down the rail, angle off the 8 ball to come down sort of this side for the 9. That would be the plan. But if you're Poolkabouter and you've got a table like this, you know, these are the tables you have to be getting out on. You were pretty much giving this to Larry. I think the 7 ball looks fairly tight, but as long as he's down on it, he should be fine. And no sooner have I said that than that happens. Again, everything about that shot ended in disaster. He scratches, he misses a 6, and he's given Poolkabouter a gift. And Poolkabouter's played that very well. Well, Larry, you need to start shaking yourself down here. It's wake-up time, Larry. Poolkabouter's still with you, and all through your own assistance. Good evening to Defty. And now the shoe's in the other foot. If Poolkabouter can get a good break, you know, 2 or 3 balls in the break and a good table, that'll allow him to settle right in. And 6 balls going in. He's got a dodgy cut in the 1. He probably got to avoid this 3 ball if he's going to cut it and try and go 2 rails back across to where the 1 is to play the 2. Oh, he's played that well. Avoided the 3. Now again, with this cue ball, just dump this in and you can get up and play this in the side or play it long, whichever you're comfortable with. He's overhit it or he's underhit it. I'm not sure what he was playing. He might have been playing to play it in the bottom left corner, but now he's got to make his mind up here. I think you've got to do something with the cue ball here because this, yeah, he's played that well to avoid the scratch. And now again, it's a blind pocket cut in the 4. Cue balls, unless again he's stunning in to hold the cue ball. It's not 100% convincing, but he's still got a shot. Got to miss that or come out good. Well, again, it's testy. Got to remember the cue ball, though. Now, this is going to be a gift for Larry unless it bounces, and it's not bounced enough. So that's 1 that's got away. I don't know what Larry's done this morning, whether he's had his breakfast or whatever. He must have. It's well past breakfast time over there now, but I mean, if he's going to keep getting that assistance from Poolkabouter, that's how eventually Larry will fall over the line, the way this is going. So 6 balls gone. He's got a shot in the 1. 2 into the side. Is he going to try and play? Oh, and again, it's when he starts doing stuff with the cue ball, Larry's really becoming vulnerable. Because he was on the 2. He was perfect just to drop through for that 3 behind the 9. But he's got lucky in the 1 ball's not sitting great. Yes, it can be potted, but it's a dodgy pot. Now this again is in that in between angle here, the one where you've just got to nick it, a little nicky stun, just like that. But he hasn't got the line. Again, he was too much focused on the 3-ball there and forgot about delivering the 2-ball. And that's another opportunity gone. See, the way it's looking, Larry, although Larry's making his mistakes, he's only going to have to just bide his time. He's going to get more opportunities from Poolkabouter, I think, than Poolkabouter's going to get from Larry. And now Larry's gave him something to think about. Oh, dear me, what the hell did he do there? Did he hit the wrong ball? How come that ended up... What ball did he hit there? I never caught that. I mean, Larry's making blatant mistakes here. No rail, was it? Ah, right. You know, just when they're saying that Poolkabouter's going to make more mistakes than Larry is, Larry goes and puts his foot right in it. Well, he's not get out far enough. Now, again, it just means you're doing that wee bit more with the cue ball. But again, he's managed to deliver the stroke. So it's good, bad, and ugly that we're seeing here. Good and bad from Poolkabouter, and certainly a bit of the ugly stuff from Larry. He hit the 9, you think? Bill says it was no... Anyway, whatever happened, he fouled. It doesn't matter, but it was whatever it is, it was a silly foul. It was another gift in the general direction of Poolkabouter, and he's took it, and we're 6 apiece. And we are 22 minutes away from the start of that match with Stubb and Potman. And I think it would be safe to bet that this ain't going to be finished by the top of the hour. So this time Larry should be into the gap between the 8 and 9 rather than the 6 and 8, I would assume. Oh dear. I mean, look at that shot. I mean, that is terrible, Larry. That is honkingly bad. How bad can you hit that ball, Larry? Look at this. Every single thing about the shot was terrible. He's hooked himself behind the 5. Unbelievable. And no sooner have I said that than Poolkabouter's done the same. He's hooked himself also. I don't know what I don't know whether Larry's unwell or something, because that's probably about the worst shot he's going to play tonight, right there. I do not know what's going on with Larry. Well, it's a safe bet that one of the contributors is definitely the trackball. I'll argue that to him blue in the face. Is that going to sneak past? I don't know whether it has. No. And this is what's keeping Larry in it. The fact that Poolkabouter's not necessarily the most reliable person at taking these chances and getting out. This is what's allowing Larry to stay in it. You know, any sort of slightly higher level player would be burying Larry right now. I've got no doubt about that. You know, Larry would be in deep doo-doo right now. Yeah, maybe that's what it is, Spud Boy. It might well be that. Well, he's nailed the bank. What's trackball fetish? Trackball's the worst thing you could ever use to play Virtual Pool 4. End of. And Larry uses it. And Larry's not prepared to accept the fact that in certain shots that you're trying to play in Virtual Pool 4 with a trackball are extremely unreliable. He won't admit that. No, don't try one. Don't anybody give advice to anybody to tell them to try a trackball, for God's sake. Well, somehow or other, Larry's got himself back in front. But then again, he's come up dry, and I don't know whether Poolkabouter can get enough of the one. Yes, he can. He can cut that, but it's tight. It's tight past the 3. And it's gone in off the 3, which made it a big pocket. How's his luck? Well, the 2 goes fine, and he can go forward. The only thing that happens here is he can hook himself behind the 5. Or catch the knuckle and get a little nudge like that and land perfect. Now, you see, here's the table where you've not a problem in the table. So if there's not a problem in the table, then the problem's the cue ball. That's all it is. And this is where it's down to your ability. So now he's going to have to run forward again. If he's going to run forward, he needs to make sure he runs far enough. Or he's leaving it short. See, he's left it short, so now he's cutting the 5, and the 6 ball doubles in size. Psychologically, every time you play this shot, the 6 ball doubles in size to the extent that he's trying to avoid the 6 ball in his mind, and he's pushed it too far to the rail. That's how he ended up missing that. Now, if he'd played the I'm chicken or getting hook shot, he would have ran the cue ball right up the table and left himself the long shot in the 5. And that would have been him well out of trouble. But he didn't do it. He tried to be clever and leave himself short, but he left himself the dodgy cut with a dodgy 6 ball impeding his play, and that's how he ended up missing. And again, this is what we're talking about, using common sense. Now Larry's made a mistake and Poolkabouter's back at the table. This is not pleasant viewing, folks. Oh dear. Well, is he going to get out this time? Is this too thin a cut to stun? I think it is. I think it looks too thin a cut from this end. Well, he's getting a nice bump here, though. He's got a very nice bump. Now, there's, again, just that bit much more angle. But if you nick it back, you'll have a shot somewhere in the 8 ball. Now he's running the cue ball to places he doesn't know where, and he's doing that. You see, again, a stupid shot. Stupid. Why is it stupid? Because he hit it far too hard, and he's thinking he's going to land somewhere really good in the 8 by hitting it harder. Whereas if he just played the common sense shot, he would have just rolled it in, rolled the cue ball out into the table, and had a long 8 ball down into the bottom right-hand corner. You know, something like that. There's something in players' minds that doesn't tick over when it comes to a shot like that with no other trouble in the table. And because they have to move the cue ball, they're a bit lacking in the thought process of what they should be doing with the cue ball. So he bangs it and hits it too hard, lets it run loose. There was no control on it because he ends up scratching. And well, I think, you know, Larry's came up dry again. And Poolkabouter's gone to that. Well, he's dead straight. I thought the 9 ball was in the way. That's fine. Now he's got to go far enough up the table. I mean, even you go at the short rail up top. Now, again, take your medicine. There's a thin cut past that 8 ball, and the cue ball is going to go below the 7. And that's good pace. And now, of course, is he going to fall into the trap of flushing this to the rail too soon and catching the pocket? No. So, Poolkabouter's going to be back within 1. Well, remember what I said, if it gets to 10 apiece. It's not quite there yet, and Larry's still got that little gap. The brake looks dry. And, of course, nothing worse than having a dry brake and then ending up with your opponent staring down the 1 ball. Now, there's still trouble ahead for Larry here. That 4 ball does go, and the 5 ball does go. It's tightish, but both of them go. In theory, you don't need to bump anything here. You just need to pick them out. No, it hasn't. Interchange X. It's been. I mean, Larry has made some shockingly poor shots, poor errors. Poolkabouter can pop balls, but he's not sure about really what he's doing on a few of the shots. And that's why he's still in the match. Larry's still in it because Poolkabouter's sort of giving him opportunities as well, but Larry's made some really poor mistakes. I mean, like that one there, he's got into the cue ball far too much, and he should have had a much easier shot in the 4 than this. I mean, he's got plenty of room, and you don't expect him to miss it, but you can't rely on Larry nowadays. And this is a lot tougher, because again, he should have been staring down this 5 ball. Did who get fined? Oh, he bailed. He bailed out. He bailed out in your match, did he? Ah, I never knew that. Well, you see, that's what we've been talking about. You know, Larry needs to get a bit wiser than this 9 ball mentality all the time. Larry just tries to clear the table every time. Yes, he's been pretty good at doing that in the past, but you know, and there's a sort of there's a mistake waiting to happen with Larry every time now. Well, if Larry was listening to that Poolkabouter bailed out because he was getting messed about with, then you know, Larry should apply that tactic. Especially if nothing's simple, then just bury your opponent if you can. And you know, that's a major sign of weakness, that when you're allowing yourself to get frustrated because your opponent's doing the dirty on you. You know, whenever you get the opportunity, you do the dirty back to them. Fight fire with fire. there's one thing that's a certainty that I can state categorically, and it will be true, and that is that Larry ain't going to change. He ain't going to change. Well, now it's getting to, we're beyond the halfway mark, and Poolkabouter, unless he does something crazy, which he tried to do there, he should never have been bumping the 9. He should be in the lead. Right, we are 8 minutes away from Stubb and Popman. Popman has been in the lobby for a good couple hours. Not that I think he's been practicing, I have to say, but Stubb will show up as and when if he hasn't already turned up. Although if he had turned up, he'd probably end up coming into the room, make an arse of himself and then disappear. Well, the 1 ball goes, and the 3 ball is there, so I don't know whether he can go through in the 6 ball side or whether the angle's taking him into it. See, again, he's trying to play the right shot, but he's not getting the major part of it, which is the pot. He's ended up getting on the 3 and getting good at the 3, but the pot's the thing that is the most important thing of all. And he's had a couple of those type of shots where he's got the cue ball more or less where he wanted to get it, but he's not doing the major part of the job. Well, that match with Stubb and Popman happened sometime today. It was certainly probably later on today it happened, and it was Witt that drew my attention to it, that it was on the schedule. So my plan was to do this match and move over to that one when this one's done, unless One Pocket Slim turned up and he wanted to cover it, because we're no way we're going to be finished here before that match with Stubb and Popman starts. So we'll keep an eye on it on the bracket. Because we might have our first major shock of the tournament here with Larry going out early on. But we're back all square again. Why can't you view Twitch? Ah, right. See, I don't have a smart TV. My TV's, it's got to be, I don't know how old it is. It's at least 12 years old now, my telly. It was, top of the range at the time when I got it. I mean, it's got internet on it in terms of, I've got it connected to my router, but, and I don't use it for anything at all. Did I ever tell you the story about my television and the kettle? I'll tell you that story in case you missed it. I was watching my TV one afternoon and the TV switched off and it went to standby. And well, that's a suggestion. If you've got a smartphone, just get Twitch on your phone. You can watch it on your phone. Anyway, my TV went to standby, and I switched it back on, and everything was fine. And anyway, to cut a long story short, this kept happening, and then the power tripped in the house, the fuse box, the safety switch, one of the wee fuse on the fuse panel, one of the buttons comes out and you have to push it back in to reset it. And so obviously there was something, I realised then that there was something causing the thing to trip. And then my kettle died. And I was in the process of looking up new televisions because I thought the television was goose. This happened for weeks and weeks and weeks, this, by the way. I'm thinking the television's got a dry joint and there's something going on with the telly. Anyway, got rid of the kettle, got a new kettle, and everything was fine. So it was the kettle that was the problem. TV's never had a problem since. And that's no coincidence. Yes, Slim, if that's you there, it's all yours. You've got 2 minutes to get fired up. So I'll post your link in the lobby so I can get the thing on in the background, please. Because we could end up having a sword fight here in this match. So Slim is home. He will be fired up right now. No, Slim doesn't use Restream. He doesn't use YouTube. He can't do a live stream to YouTube and Twitch at the same time because he's an affiliate with Twitch. They don't allow you to live stream anywhere else at the same time. I found that out to my cost when I became an affiliate with Twitch, and I read the small print, and I pulled the plug in that. Best thing I did was just sticking to YouTube because even though I'm still nowhere near 1,000 subscribers, I've got a lot more now than I probably would have had I just stuck with Twitch. Right, so that match with Stubb and Potman is barely 2 minutes away. You know what the other thing is? Most of you guys that subscribe, and this is what a lot of people do wrong, they subscribe to somebody's channel on YouTube, but they don't hit the notifications bell. And the difference that makes is huge because even though I might be live streaming something more boring like Eurotruck, and you'll get an alert telling you I've gone live, you just ignore it if it's not Virtual Pool 4 and you've got no interest. But if you're a subscriber to the channel, but you don't hit the notifications, you won't have any idea when I've gone live. I mean, if the fact that I've got 700 subscribers and I don't have 600 watching this tells you that. That's what most people forget to do is hit the little notification bell so you get an alert that lets you know. I mean, I get alerts coming through my phone all the time when guys I subscribe to have gone live or they've posted a video. Meanwhile, Larry has the lead. Poolkabouter has the table, and he's got a tough one to try and get out. The 6 ball's going to be awkward. Yeah, 6 ball doesn't go past the 9. It goes into the side if you can get down low enough on it. So here's the big test for Poolkabouter. Now he can draw off this 5, but he doesn't want to draw towards the 6. The angle in this is not perfect, I don't think. Well, he's made up his mind what he's going to try. Is he trying to snick this and just use the 9 to try and put Larry in trouble, or is he trying the combo? I think he's made his mind up it's the combo. This is not easy. He gave it everything he could. And, well, what does Larry do? Does he have a bang at this to try and knock the 9 in? No, he's trying to get distance, and that will work. He got the nice little flick off the 7, and Poolkabouter is in trouble. This might be going narrow. He might catch the edge of the 6, but I think, well, let's see the line. He might be okay. It looks touch and go to me with this line, but I think he might catch some of it. He's going narrower again. That doesn't look right to me, but maybe my eyes are getting bad. No, he caught it. Cue ball's gone. There you go. And that's the little help that Larry needs, because now he can open that gap again. Now, why doesn't he just nick the 6 into the side and just a little roll through for the 7? Right, hang on. Let me just bring up Slim's channel. Oh, what the hell's happened here? That's weird. Is that? That is Slim's link. Let me try it again. Maybe I have to search for him, because that's not right. There's something funny going on. Oh, maybe Twitch is maybe Twitch has decided to play funny with the internal browser, because it ain't connecting. That's weird. Try it one more time. Hang on. No, I have no idea what this is about. This is the first time I've ever seen that. No, you don't need to log in to watch Slim. No, well, to hell with that then. To hell with that idea. That's the first time that's ever happened. That's weird. Now, why is Popman in this room? Why is it saying he's arrived? He's in the wrong bloody room. Aye. What a numpty. Well, there's another mistake from Poolkabouter, and this is all to the aid of Larry. His stream is frozen in your screen. Maybe he's got technical issues, Slim. Maybe something's playing up. I had to have a quick drink. I'll try that link again and see if it works. But things are going in Larry's favour at the right time as far as he's concerned. He's going to have a 3-rack lead. We'll wait to see the break. He's live now, is he? Right, well, we'll see this break and then I'll tab. I think it's dry again. Yep. Let me just try it now and see what happens. No, there's obviously something going on. There is definitely something happening that ain't right. Miasma's there in the chat. Can see that, but for some reason Twitch has decided it doesn't want to work no more on the internal browser. Is that it there? Or is this a previous stream? No, this is in fact what's happening with Stubb and Potman. The room's still showing empty. Is Stubb not in the building? I'm not hearing any volume from Slim. Yeah, this is live. Right, so Stubb isn't anywhere around. Let me just get my phone. Hang on, and I'll see if we can get a hold of him. Hang on a minute, folks. I'll tab back to the hour match first of all. Right. I've sent him a message. Mistake again from Poolkabouter. And Slim's still looking for Stubb. Why is Potman not going into the room? That's the question I'm asking. I'm not getting any reply from Stubb. And meanwhile, Larry looking at taking this match away now from Poolkabouter. Well, he's got to still get this 6-ball in first of all. Right, quick check again. Let me see whether this will show who's in the room. That's a bit. What the hell's Potman doing? Somebody do us a favour, have a quick look in the lobby and see where Thunderbluster is. Is he in a room on his own, or has he actually gone into that tournament room? Because if he doesn't get in, I mean that's now 10 past the hour. It's timing out. It's forfeiting. Right, Potman, are you in the room? No, I'm busy looking at my phone. I can't see the chat. I'm not looking at the chat on my second monitor. Well, I am now, but I'm busy on my phone. Tell me you're in the room, Potman. Right, let's have a look. Well, Slim's left the building. This room's going to die. any second now, and it's all over then, as far as I can see. Yeah. There's been no response whatsoever from Stubb. So, God knows what he's up to. But as long as Potman's in that room, it's done. It's dead now. Let's have a confirmation of that. Well, it hasn't popped up in the lobby yet. It's not shown as a result. It looks as Potman been having trouble with his room, with staying in the lobby or something. Is there something weird happened? Because he's just came back online. And there's no message appeared in the lobby about the result of the match. Well, Larry's in no man's land again in the 8 ball. Why am I not seeing the result of that match coming up? I'm seeing Slim's link in the chat in the lobby, but I'm not seeing that the match is timed out. Has there been a problem with the room then? Even though Stubb isn't here. Right, the room didn't show in the lobby. Right. Well, how come Slim's in the room then, if the room didn't show? Hang on. This match is going to be done and dusted. Right, Stubb ends up getting advanced. Well, and you need to get a hold of Steve. But it can't be that the room didn't show, Potman, because Slim's in the room. Meanwhile, Larry's on the hill. Poolkabouter's fighting for scraps now. Well, the first thing that needs to happen with that is that Stubb forfeits. That's the first thing that needs to happen with that tie, because he's nowhere to be seen and he's not responded to me on my phone. So he was never in the building at all. That can't be right, Potman, because Slim was sitting in the room. It can't be that the room never showed. Are you sure you went and scrolled up in the tournament tab and didn't see it for that reason, like something numptish like that? Because Slim was in the room. He had the live stream running with the room up. So it wasn't the fact the room didn't show. The room's been there. I know that for a fact because Slim was in it. But that's by the by. The fact that you weren't in the room is why the coin cost came and you ended up losing it. Now Steve's going to side with Stubb and give him a second chance because the fact that you weren't in the room. That's what's going to happen there. No, there's not any server issue. Well, Poolkabouter's got to double figures. He's got a long haul to get over the line here. And he's got no shot. Well, that bump on the four's been very handy. Well, Larry's just going to... I don't know whether he's going to give it a blast, because you never know what might end up in the side pocket or something. Almost comboed the 5. And I think he's got cover on the 4. Yep. Well, that's a disappointment. I was hoping I would see Potman give Stubb trouble. But like I said, Stubb still not made any reply to my message to him. So maybe something's cropped up with Stubb. And Larry, finally, with a combo in the 9, gets over the line. Well, I think Larry's, he's living in borrowed time here, Larry. Not necessarily convincing when you would describe that. It's 15-10 to Larry. He does survive, but barely from what we've seen. So there's 2 matches left. Acero Inspector Dawn, that is tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. I'll be there for that. And then you've got Slim covering his own match with One Pocket Slim and Cold as Pillow a week on Sunday. That bracket, at the moment, it shows Stubb through to play Matt. That shouldn't be the case, because Stubb was never here. So that's up to Potman to explain that properly to Steve. Right. So unlucky Slim didn't get to do anything with that one. So well, no doubt we'll find out what happened to Stubb. And hopefully things will be resolved one way or the other. No, it certainly wasn't Larry's best. Larry's far, in fact, he's least impressive yet, to be honest with you. Far too many errors. And that's, why he's struggling in the one-loss side. He's going to struggle even more because Poolkabouter's the least of his trouble, so he's going to bump into sooner rather than later. In fact, who does Larry actually play next, or who's he lined up to play? Oh, crap. Where is he? I can't see him. And that result hasn't updated yet. Right, there's Larry through. He's looking to play either Demon or... Well, in fact, it's more than likely that it will be Stubb that Larry will play in the one-loss side, because Potman's there at the moment, but that should be Stubb that's there, and he plays this Demon. Did that Demon show up for his first match? I can't remember. But anyway, it's a possibility, a very strong possibility. It could be Larry and Stubb in that next round. Right, that's it, folks. Thanks for your company. If you can join us tomorrow afternoon on VP4TV. We will have the match with Acero and Spectre Dawn. That should be a good one. So hope to see you then. If you can't be there, then it'll be on the playlist. It'll be on my channel. You won't miss it. You can watch it at your leisure whenever. Right. So I will bid you good night. I'm off for a coffee and see what crap's in the telly. And I'll see you again very soon. Take care and good night.